What's going on, everyone? I'm sure you've seen the news, but if not, so two Foxies made it into top 16 of the most recent championship series for Japan. I think that's what those tournaments are called. We're going to watch some gameplay, but we're going to take a look at the deck list here first, and then we'll jump into the gameplay. But so we had two in the Fukuoka, forgive me if I said that wrong, their championship. It's OP09, so we of course have Foxy leader, and then the full Foxy suite, 4 Chopper, 4 Ito Mizumi. I think it's the one. I don't think anybody ever says his name right. Maybe they do. And then you've got Pickles, Porsche, and then of course we're playing Clay, best on 4 ramp, and then of course in late game he also becomes a big body if not answered, because he can mimic and gives you really strong bodies. And of course, interesting, the 2K Khalifa, which lets you, I believe this is the one that cycles when you attack, you -1 and you draw 2, discard 2. Onami blocker, this is a new addition, I believe. Yeah, this one is the Nami from ST18. You see here, you get to draw 2 trash 1 if you have more than 8 Don. And then 4 Eustace. Of course, when you use Foxy's ability, you can gain an extra Dawn, which is always very nice, because what's really great about Foxy, especially in the Dofi, is you have to have 3 Foxy Pirates, so you have to play the full Foxy suite. But then, if those characters aren't able to be answered, you can start minusing your Dawn and then freezing 2 characters. So it's like they're always playing without their leader, so you can freeze their leader, stop their leader ability, and some fun shenanigans. And of course, we see this Sanji. This Sanji right here is new in OP09. You can return 1 or more Dawn, so you can choose. And then this character gains Rush for this turn, and then you can rest 6 cost or less, so you can rest pretty much any blocker. We also have this new Luffy. This new Luffy is very nice too. OP09, you return 1, gains Rush, and you get to draw a card, so he replaces himself, so very Dawn efficient. And so the additions, of course, with the new set are these, along with the Nami from the structure deck, and then, of course, Usohachi, which allows you to rest, allowing you to go for lethal. Gina is a 2K, the Megaton Rush, which allows you to restand any Foxy, so you can restand this Foxy or your leader. This one, of course, giving you a lot stronger lethal when going for game. And then 1 of Shiki. A 1 of Shiki, this card is a blocker, and then on play you get to draw 1, trash 1. All right, let's go ahead and jump into the game. All right, so in here we've got the game, and it is Lucci versus Foxy. Of course, we got this nice max rarity Lucci here. Starting off with the Gecko and the Jack, so very strong with, of course, opening Spandom to really kind of get things going. So really solid just in terms from the Lucci player. And then we go over here to the Foxy player. We've, of course, got 3 Nami Swan, Bon Clays, and then we've got Sanji and Khalifa. Of course, none of these being any of the main Foxy Pirate engine cards, so interested to see if they're going second. If you're going second, this is still pretty solid, because you go 2, you do nothing, you go 4, play, go 5, then instantly 7, you can play the Rush. But we want those Foxy bodies, so that way we can start using the Foxy leader effect. So we'll see that, of course, they're all getting ready, checking their hands, and then just wait from the start. I don't know who's going to go first. I'm sure they're just waiting for confirmation to go. All right, here we go. So Lucci's going first, so yeah, Foxy having second. I think it's just a little bit stronger with their hand. And then, of course, looking at top 3, got a Rebecca. Oh, they're playing Kobe. I understand it. Kobe is like also showing back up in Smoker here at 8.5. But it's a decent card for removal. A little expensive. Okay, the 5 and 5. Probably take 1, trash 1 of the Namis. Take 1 just to kind of see what you can get. Interesting that they didn't play the Chopper to just ramp up 1. Because then they could go 8. But probably just afraid of the play Brook. Because I don't believe that they do, yeah. So take 1 and then give up the Nami. Or will the Bon Clay? Go 2 more. Probably go 5 first. Just because, you know... Oh, just going to do the ramp. So he can go 6? Okay. Maybe no fear of finger pistol. Go ahead and go 1. And then go 6. 6 is, of course, slightly better. Lucci playing very minimal 2Ks. Sometimes you just 2K check them. And then back to the Lucci. Of course, if you play any large body, this Bon Clay has a lot more power. Without Great Eruption, too, usually any 4 Dawn turn play sticks. And so Bon Clay can swing for like 6-5 the next turn, assuming that they don't go ahead and play Khalifa. But they could do like an Ice Age, but you usually don't want to waste an Ice Age just to answer that because it'll only be a 6K, and then your Spandom can poke into it, so you just kind of have to eat it. Are they going to go for it? They're going to go for the 6. Yeah. Go for the 6. Interesting to see if they still just establish the Lucci, or if they play the Khalifa to load up the Lucci into the trash to prepare for the Gecko, since next turn they're going to play Jack. But they could, of course, when they play Jack, cycle it. So, let's see. I'm sure that they're debating which one they want to play. Going to go ahead and play that Khalifa. Draw 2. Possibly discard that Lucci. Yep, discard Lucci and maybe the Tempest Kick. Rebecca, load up the Rebecca. They also looks like they have the 2K Kaku. They're going Lucci and Rebecca, loading them both up for those geckos. I'm unsure if they have Spandine already in there. So we're going to see, of course, them going to 7. Perfect turn. If they have Foxy, great turn here for Foxy. If not, great opportunity to drop that Sanji. They might be saving the Chopper for when they want to spit out 3 characters to use the ability, because you can do that. Like, you can play, people play Gina just to meet that 3 count, because you do have to have 3 on board to be able to Dawn -3. Going 5. Probably just assuming that the 7K is coming at you. Being like, okay, well, how do I counter it? It looks like the only counter in their hand is that Kaku. Oh, they're going to take both. Oh, then there's the Brook, right? That's why you just don't play down the Chopper early. Because if they had the Brook. Oh, he's going to rest it? Do you crash into it? Might go just to pick a card. They can counter out the 7. Think about what their turn looks like, because they can play Jack, but they won't be able to answer any meaningful body. Just going to take it, get that extra card. And then, of course, Foxy. Like, once you establish the regular Foxy, it takes off a lot of pressure, especially against the deck like Doflamingo, where all of their bodies are 4 or 5 and 6Ks. So, usually it requires a Dawn for each one, making their swings just so much less efficient, even more so once you establish 2. And being able to establish that on your turn 3 is, of course, very strong. And you have so many ramp cards, like the Chopper. You have Itomizumi, all of those. Got that Megaton Rush that they're showing here on the screen. Doesn't look to be in their hand, but it's a great finisher. If you don't have a blocker, it could just completely catch you off guard. So you got to be careful. But yeah, it's really like, it's just Foxy with, you know, the added rush, which is really like what purple misses overall, and OP09 adding in 2 new rush cards. Of course, doing the Lucci just for the cycle, I'm sure, and then they're going to KO the... Yeah, because you have to answer that if you're playing an 8K, just that way they can't mimic it and smack you with 8. But now, if they wanted to, they could go into that Jack, and knowing how they've been countering, they could be very conservative in how they approach that. So, of course, going to that 8 Dawn turn now, because they -1 for Sanji. They got the Luffy that you can play on 9, so even if they Dawn -1 this turn, probably smacking down a Luffy next turn. Got the Eustace Captain Kid. Again, not a lot of these Foxy pirate cards. Not a lot of them there. You do have Porsche, which can allow you to cheat out the chopper, and you can hit the 3 for 4. A -1 looks like they might be considering slamming down the Porsche. Because if you can rest that jack, it's even better than answering them. Like, yeah, you lose a little bit of Don, but if you answer that, it's a lot better if you have, like, you know, you play the chopper, so you go net 0, and then you'll go down 3, go back up to 7, but jack can't restand. And so they can't reuse jack, and he's pretty much just out of the game for the time being, or until you can answer him. I'm sure that's, like, going through his mind. Of course, you want to play that Luffy, and it's like, okay, like, do I play 3, play Porsche? Do I play 3, pay 2, pay 1, and just not do the minus, go up to 9, and then go down to 7, or go up to 9, go down to 6, come back up to 8. Looks like we'll start off with a 6, just test. Looks like we're not going to go for the minus because Fox's ability is when attacking. So I'm interested to see if they're going to test. Like, of course, you can't just take that because you can't go down to 1 because of the Megaton Rush. Giving a 2 and a 1. Okay. Now he's got 5 cards in hand. A lot more on your side. Trying to figure out, of course, you know, what is your play. Going to go ahead play another Sanji. Minus the 1 rest and go 7. Of course, using that rush to apply that pressure. And at 1 life, you're forced to play a blocker. Otherwise, risk that Megaton Rush. And then, of course, if you don't answer these bodies, you've got those still going at you as well. We've got to Tempest Kick, which is very nice. And then, of course, got the Gecko Moria. Unsure of cards in the trash. I haven't been tracking it. But there is the potential. They're only at 9, so they could remove 1. Maybe remove both if they play the Lucci. If they go this, Ice Age. Double Tempest Kick Ice Age can clear the board. But again, you're not establishing a blocker, putting you at risk of just the Megaton Rush. With the Lucci deck, like, one of the biggest things, if you can just rush them down, because 1, you get the ramp, so you're playing slightly ahead, establishing larger threats before your opponent can reasonably answer them, because the costs. And so, yeah, they could double Tempest Kick, potentially see more counter. They don't have Megaton Rush, so they'll probably just have to deal with, because they'll go up to 9. Foxy will go up to 9, and then probably play down that Luffy, -1 draw card, and go 5, 9. So you count out of 5. Can't counter out of 9, go to 0. Yeah, it looks like they're contemplating the Tempest, Ice Age, Lucci. So they'll get 2 new cards refreshed in their hand. See if they look at that trash and let us see what's in there. Sure if they do this. But yeah, the only reasonable way to answer it. Looks like they have a lot. I'm not sure I saw Spandine in there. 5, Miltu, okay. Lucci and Brook. Those new Luccis look really nice too. Also released in OP09 as the SP. Easy 1K. Want to stay healthy. Don't want them to have to try to go for game, which might be their play. Now it can't be, but yeah, -3. Yeah, they're just going to answer the board. -3, so they -1. They're going to jack, get a little bit more cycle, try to clean up that hand, get a bit more counter in there. Maybe see like that Spandine or Rebecca, something to get going. Okay, now they're going to Tempest again. Oh, well, they trash 1 first, and then they get the KO. Yep. Those are those champion. There's like their flagship jacks. Very nice. And then, yeah, so only got 7K in counter still. Going to 0 afterwards and then having to deal with the Luffy after wasting all of your minus. It's not looking too great. Oh, they're going to go ahead. They're going to Gecko. going for the value play, of course, playing that Rebecca. And then overplaying there. Now probably Spandine first. Load up that. Oh, there's the Spandine. Spandum. All those names. Yes, they add the Spandine. And then gonna Rebecca. Possibly out of 2K. Yeah. And then maybe even play. No, gonna keep it. Just to not establish that Lucci body. Or even you could establish a Khalifa and dig just a little bit deeper. Possibly thinking on the Rebecca if they want to try to do that. Draw 2, trash 2. Because they only have 2K, 2K, 1K, 1K. No, looks like they're probably just opting not to. Keeping their counter cards separate, you know. Slightly giving it away possibly if they're paying attention. Yeah, I believe one of the Foxies lost in top 16. I believe this Foxy goes on to fall in top 8. But quite the accomplishment, especially having 2 of those leaders with, of course, Blackbeard taking the whole event. Let's see. Yeah, I think... Oh, are they just going to block her up? Play D? Oh, Usohachi? No? No? Yeah, Eustace, Captain Kidd. Pay 2. Oh, pay 3. Play Porsche. Okay. Surge 5 going to play out the chopper. Ramp back. Ooh. Do they have a 2K? And they're probably going to pay the 1, and then they're going to freeze both while establishing 2 blockers. Yeah. Spit this out. Ramp 1. Play Gina. And then use Foxy, because they haven't swung, so... And then playing down the chopper, ramping the 1 Don, so they'll go back to 9. Oh, and then, of course, Eustace getting you 2 more. Oh, playing 2 more for the chopper. Brilliant. Even better. Now, of course, minusing 3, so you'll go back to 9, freezing that Jack. And then that Lucci as well, really creating very few threats for the opponent to respond to you with, while having 3 established blockers and a ton of swingers. Now going 7, probably going to command that Rebecca blocker. Can give him the 2K, 1K, but you do have the Spandine to do a Rebecca with a KO, so you can answer possibly a Sanji with that Ice Age. Yeah, giving up the blocker just to keep those cards in hand. Yeah. And then leader, of course, frozen. Only got those 2 life, plenty healthy on the Foxy side. Plus they have that rester. And I believe Usohachi can rest up to a 5. So it hits Sabo as well. So there's like nothing. Nothing is safe. Yeah, I see Ice Age, leader swing. If they have Helmeppo, you go Gecko, Rebecca, Helmeppo, Spandine. Because you once again, unfortunately, need to establish that blocker. Otherwise, you're just at big risk of just losing. Because then they just do 2 giant swings. And they're going to 9 Don. Oh, you can't use your leader swing. That's right. Yeah, so you do have the Tempest kick, though. Gonna just go... Probably attempt 9 at the Sanji. No, I think you still have to just go 9 at life. Yeah, 9 at life. And then easy. Honestly, you could fish for a card if there's really something you're looking for because you have so many blockers. But you, of course, do have to be careful because it is very easy for them to, if you're down to your 2 little baby blockers, to just use 5 Dawn, this and Lucci, or this and Spandine, getting you just a little bit more efficient to remove 2 blockers for 4 Dawn. So, yeah, you want to get rid of those choppers just because you never know if they'll stay. And then paying 1... Tempest, draw 1, One recycle. It looks like they just drew another Ice Age. Yeah. And then minusing. Depends. It's unfortunate because if they had the leader, they could make it a 2 and a 1. Going -3 on Eustace, leader swing make it 4, and then using Ice Age making Sanji 2, allowing you to do another Gecko into Spandam, and Rebecca into Spandine. From the hand, adding a 2K, spitting out Lucci and KOing both. Relieving a lot of pressure from their board. Again, they still have that Luffy, and they have that Usohachi. Usohachi's big here. Paying 1. Looks like Ice Age. Wonder if they just won't do it on the Eustace. I don't know if they have minus in their trash. They've been very, very greedy on the trash and showing it. Very confident in knowing what they have. Each player worked very hard to get here, and it's just fascinating to see. I know a lot of people have also purchased Foxy 7-drop alt arts this morning after seeing not 1 but 2. Yeah, we're going there. I'm assuming there's some form of minus. Rebecca, yeah, and a Suru taking those up. Gonna do Suru -2. Rebecca at a 2K, probably Khalifa. And then playing out Spandine over the Suru to then KO the Eustace. Leaving him still two threats on board. Plenty enough to put you at 0. Of course, the Kaido not holding a lot here just because you're so low. Kaido is very good when you're healthy, or if it's removing the only body on board. But again, with these added rush cards from purple, really good. Not much on Foxy's side. They could potentially do another freeze if they need to go another turn by playing Gina if they don't counter with, if they don't block. But there's no more attacks, so Porsche Chopper will live, and then they'll be able to play Gina and then do the leader ability again. They could even go Gina into Luffy into -1 into 5/5/9. Especially, and you got to feel really good about that too. Yeah, adding a Sabo makes sense just because Sabo's a decent blocker and it gives you another option because you are out of Rebecca's. And so even though it's a 1K, yeah, adding back those 3, you're going to play out your Lucci and play it over. I won't lie, they do look really good. Putting back the Ice Age, just knowing you're not going to see that bottom deck, just putting back those. Of course, Gecko first in case. And now back to the Foxy. Here we go, going to our 10 Dawn turn. Lots of options here. Probably poke 5. Unless he's got, yeah, he doesn't have Megaton. No Foxys this game either. No 7 drops. I did not grab his Don. He should go up to 9. Or go up to 10 because of Eustace. Oh no. They should have 10, right? Because they played Chopper to cancel out the 1 and they gained 1. And they -3. So they should have been at 7. Oh yeah, grabbing their Dawn. And then playing 9 to play the Luffy, right. Minusing 1, giving him rush, drawing a card. And then you go leader 5, freeze, maybe Jack, possibly Gecko. Really depends on what you're worried about. Big decision. The 1K could matter because they'll have 2. If you're not finishing them this turn, they will have 2 Geckos. And so 3 possible threats. You still have blockers. You still have blockers, 1 blocker, and a little bit of counter. Plus, you can count on the cards in your life. Going 5. Not sure what they froze, but it might have been the Gecko. Because then they only have 3 threats. 3 hits need to go through. Yeah, 10 gets the Rebecca. They've got a Sabo. Again, they've used a lot of their minus. Kaido only hits a 7, so that 9 is just slightly out of range. They do have an Ice Age, but I think if you go... You could clean up board. Go Kaido. Go 6 at 5. See if they give you a 2K. Because you either have that or you somehow attempt lethal with just playing out your Lucci to KO their blocker. So it costs 4, but then all 3 of your hits need to go through, and you have 6 Dawn to work with. So you could go 3, 1, and 2. So you could go 9, 10, and 12. Or 9, 11, and then another 11. But all those feel weak. Like, 2 2Ks and a 1K with 5 cards in hand just shambles that whole plan. So, possible Kaido play. But Sabo, because you have to answer their board. You could just, with the blocker in the way, it's very hard to effectively and efficiently answer their board. And then, of course, the Jack being frozen again, because he can be used to facilitate destruction in and of itself. So, you want to be careful with that. Going 6 at life, and they're taking it. Interesting. Finally seeing that Foxy. It's that nice alt art right there. Now, of course, you can tap 4, attach 3 to each, and go 12-12. Go 12-12. Require 4 2Ks. Which it looks like Usohachi's a 2K. They have 2K, 2K. And then the one card I'm not really... It'll probably Eustace Captain Kid. All these new PRB alts. Okay, yep. Oh, I'm playing the Lucci. Gonna remove those 2. And then probably swing the rest. Swing the rest into the Luffy. In the need to clear? No, just going for it. Poking 9. It's saying, this is really smart actually, because you're poking 9, and then you have to counter out, or you're saying that you have 14K. You can counter above 14K, which you can't. But then it opens the path for you to clear the Luffy. Because you have to counter out of this or risk losing it all in. Yeah. So you gotta give them 3 cards, and then it makes it very easy to clear that Luffy. Very smart. Very smart, because they only had 8K, 9K, enough to go 14, so they would have to count on that life to be counter to not lose. And you don't ever want to risk that if you don't have to. And now the Lucci has the opportunity to clear that Luffy with a 15 swing. Oh, playing a Sabo. Interesting, playing it safe. But I think he falls to Usohachi. Getting a little bit more counter in the hand. Looks like 2K, 1K. Still not looking great. Because I'm pretty sure that Usohachi takes out the Sabo. I think 14 at Luffy was just it. Buy you one more turn. And then I think you just, if they don't have any rush, might just bring it home. Yeah, I think the Usohachi just... Yeah. Usohachi. And then you can go 9 and then 10. So they have 2 cards, so you know the 9 connects. And then just got to hope for 10. Yeah, I think going... well played by both players. Love to see Foxy thriving. And then huge congrats. But yeah, maybe it was... Because, yeah, Usohachi can rest the blocker. Unfortunately, it was... Quite possibly just go 15, 14 at the Luffy to clear that. And then being like, okay, well, now you have to have something else. Or we go one more turn and you probably just make it out in that battle of attrition. But as always, thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to hit that subscribe button.